gentlemen, here's John and Danny.
Oh, I got a spin. I didn't know if that would work. I'm in a very small space. Hey, not happy with the introduction of competitive rock, paper, scissors. The Games Workshop Open had another controversy as two top players ran out of time and talked through a third of the game. We're going to find out who the most irritating member of the podcast is, and we expose some Photoshop shenanigans. I am a hydrocephalic version of Quentin Tarantino. Even though we are a group of elitist neckbeards, it's still going to get pretty grim after dark. My first co-host tonight is our classic high hairline Harry. It's Danny McDivett.
John, thanks for having me.
That was a smash cut. Guys,
I don't know what is happening right now.
No, I'm just trying to piss you off.
You
don't get the roll dice. However, take my models, I'm going home.
As our guest producer, Dickie, is trying to...
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Dickie's trying to get the feel of a Val-produced show. But anyway, yeah, Danny.
Yeah, and to really cement that feel, here's Dickie.
I think my favorite thing about it is the back of your TV is clear.
Yeah, I just noticed that, actually.
It's a wonder of technology, John.
Yeah. I also have no theme music. I put a sound clip in for Danny, and I'm pretty sure it was Seth yelling at Brad Chester. So I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't yell at Brad Chester?
You're not wrong.
Yeah. He can't hear anything. When you get to be that old, things start to go.
What's so wise?
He can't see you through the wine bottle. Yeah.
Danny, we took some issue with a certain thumbnail created last week by a certain person.
That's right.
Dickie wants to pull this up here. This is the thumbnail from last week's Grim After Dark. Danny, you have one or two issues. I think I want to start here. My main issue, nowhere am I mentioned at all in any involvement in the show, which from an advertising perspective seems sensible, but from a self-esteem prospect is crushing.
Yeah. You know, I don't understand why you couldn't have been like, the fulcrum point there. So I'm not really sure why you were excluded. But my main beef has to do with Val's opinion just outweighs me here, right? And you can see it in the graphic. He's creating this unconscious bias against my. So you go into the episode thinking Val is right.
Well,
he's cutting out your microphone.
Danny, plug your microphone in. There you go.
That's why.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
That's why his opinion's worth more is because you can hear it.
It's destroying me.
Yeah, I gotta say, our thumbnail game has been down lately, and I'm sorry. I'm personally sorry. I've been using Seth on a lot of mine, and we really need to step up.
It's low-hanging fruit,
Thursday show had Seth in it for some reason.
I'm sorry.
Even though that man believes nowhere near a competitive podcast.
Yeah.
Last week's signals, Seth-based.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. But hey, just to make sure we cripple any self-esteem that may be left, this little comment was left behind in last week's YouTube video of Grim After Dark. It's a person saying, I greatly enjoy the show, but few people on this entire planet are as irritating as Val.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yep.
It's very strong.
I mean, it hurts to hear, but at the same time, the truth always does. I'm glad that somebody finally said it.
I was going to ask which one of you guys did the thumbs up there.
That was me.
Yeah, okay.
Because that was immediately after I saw the created thumbnail. It was just like, yeah.
Get him.
We did cater to the audience's demands this week, and we gave Val a 1-week suspension. But Danny, Dickie, who is more irritating than Val?
Wow.
Like, do you want me to call out like persons or like
sure,
concept?
So that way, when we have them on the podcast in 6 months, that we'll forget about it and they can call us out now.
Yeah. Man, that's a great question, John. I'm having a lot of trouble thinking of somebody.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah. Do you want me to go, or are you really?
Yeah,
stuck?
go.
Yeah, no, go for it, man.
Go.
Okay, so I have one. It jumped into my head right away. Okay, so when you're in a drive-through line, and you're just trying to get a coffee or something fast, and the person in front of you decides to order all the food and all the drinks,
Oh yeah.
That person is far more irritating than Val.
Yeah.
Like they're feeding an entire classroom of kids.
Yeah. Go in the
Kids don't
place,
deserve to be fed.
bad person.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's my answer.
Do you guys think
I got mine actually. I
Yeah,
know
go.
Oh man, it's jaywalkers. Let me tell you about jaywalkers. I hate jaywalkers more than anything else in the entire world. I think it's probably maybe the worst crime ever committed in the history of humanity.
No.
Worse than genocide. Oh, easily. My annoyance level at seeing somebody cross the street when there's literally a crosswalk not 25 feet from them knows no bounds. My fury is absolute.
So there we go. People more irritating than Val, jaywalkers, and people using a drive-through for its intended purpose.
No, it's too much. If they just order too much food, there's an amount of food that you go into the store for. But it's not that's not the drive-through.
Guys, do you think that this person is aware actually how huge a part Val plays in the tone and presentation of this show? Because
I mean, yeah, I do clearly.
Clearly, yeah.
Danny doesn't.
Perfect,
I don't think Danny knows. Yeah.
There is our little bit of there's our little bit of attaboy, and then we're going to move on from there. I do want to say, even though he is missing, he did bring a massive part, as I wanted to bring attention to Millennium Con and their flyer that drew the eye. Believe it or not, this is a flyer for an event in 2022. Only a couple weeks away, this one here. Danny, what do you notice about this quality design?
Well, John, you've got the classic Games Workshop emblem, or trademark there in Wayne England art. I don't know if you knew that. If you can't tell, it's definitely that. For a a Middle Earth strategy battle game tournament in 2022, John, which is the whole concept of that is
Texas Middle Earth as well, which is like
I mean, if it's going to happen anywhere,
have way less rights. We have my favorite thing here is the check marks. Saturday, 12th November, check. 600 points, check. 3-game event, check. 18 players,
18
check.
whole players. Check.
Man, that's very optimistic.
But it's checked. I did want to point
true.
out, it looks like this is exactly the same poster they've been using since Millennium Con 2000. They've just slightly updated the year.
John, and there's no range of players. So there's going to be 18 players there for sure.
There's going to be none. 18 or none.
Yeah. Or it's not happening.
Nope. Yep.
No, it sure is not. Amazing. I just wanted to point that out. That's a beautiful poster. Before we go on, I added this in real quick to the pre-show because this is the hot goss that launched today. It is a beautiful Citadel miniature of just a Solar Commander and his horse. Danny, we have differing opinions on this model. One of us is wrong. The other is myself. Tell us, what are your views on the new Lord Solar?
Well, thanks for giving me that introduction there, John. I'd just like to point out how bad this model is on every level. So when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, great, another Old World preview. I can't wait for this. It's...
The robot legs really give that Old World feel, you're right.
It's true. You had the engineer on Mechanical Steed. I mean, I could go further, but I won't. This horse is named Constantine, as in Constantine Valdor. So it's named after probably one of the most important characters in the entire heresy. Cool. Good way to name your horse after that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's like having a horse named like George Washington or something like that. Like, how ridiculous. Or my horse William Wallace. Come on, man. Get out of here with that shit.
You don't think there's horses out there called William Wallace?
Well, probably, because there's a lot of
race horses called My Uncle Touched Me in First. This is the horse names are bizarre.
And this horse is a quadruple amputee.
I don't know if it's a horse. I think it's just a robot.
No, it's a horse. It says it's a horse. In the article, it says that it's a horse, and there's living parts in it. And if you look, you can kind of see one of its thighs. like, but only like it's real close to the body, so there's not much horse left in that horse.
They RoboCop the shit out of it.
You know, here's what they could have done instead, John. You're right, they could have RoboCopped it. Why isn't this model a cybernetic centaur? That would have just been so much better on every level. Like, there's nothing more inspiring to me than the idea of my leader being willing. Like, it just shows you're a badass. This guy is willing to cut off his own legs and surgically attach himself to the front of a horse to lead his men into battle. It's probably one of the most inspiring and just like a real show of strength that you can ever have.
Do you think the messaging might get confusing when you're trying to kill heretics, mutants, and traitors, and you're being told to do this by someone who's half horse, half man?
It's absolutely not, John. The horse projects power. Have you ever heard of the saying, as strong as a horse? Well, what about a horseman, John? There's nothing stronger. It's just pure power.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Guys, discuss the horse for a minute. I have to take care of something real quick. I'm going to be very professional and be right back.
Well,
jeez.
Where
did he go?
I don't know. Maybe I inspired him.
I don't.
Maybe he's gonna draw some centaur pictures.
The
or
one
something
question
like that.
I have
is
why are his clothes baby blue? Like, let's go back. Like, they're very faint blue, but why?
Yeah.
Is he wearing pajamas? Like, what's going on under there?
It's a sign of purity, I think.
Baby blue.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. Why did they have to put him on a horse?
I think
like,
the
couldn't
horse
it have
is
just
cool.
been the old Lord Solar, like with it's
I'm back. What up?
Whoa.
Jeez.
Hey, fun story. So my wife has taken our son out trick-or-treating, as you do. Left the Basset Hound unlocked. So he was just downstairs baying wildly the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the heartbreak, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to go rescue him and let him lay in the bed.
That's nice of you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fun times. Yeah, that's what happened there.
So we heard Danny's argument for this model. John, we haven't heard your argument.
Why is it good, John?
Yeah, why is it good?
Because it's just a hugely symbolic piece. Yeah, your leader, like, look at me, your leader. This guy isn't seeing battle. This guy isn't fighting. He's just a symbol of, like, look, you can make a man out of yourself in the guard. Look at this guy. I mean, most likely, he's going to be hiding behind a couple tanks anyway. So, you know, what does it matter? What he's on.
Well, John, what happens if this guy is a real badass in close combat? Like, what happens if his rules indicate that he actually gets up in the front lines and then he swings that sword and hard?
No.
Yeah. He might. That would be hilarious. Imagine dying to a dude in a horse.
In this day and age?
in this
economy?
This is a RoboCop horse. So I think it's mostly machine. Either that or like a very confused horse who didn't know the power of its own robot legs, driving it forward at like 40, 60 miles an hour and just
incredibly
freaking
powerful,
the shit
John.
out of it.
Imagine if that was directly under the control of a man.
My favorite thing. My favorite thing is there's people, much like Danny. One guy let us know, or let the internet know, this model belongs in Sigmar. My immersion in the setting is gone. And a friend of the show, Evan Valdyke, who's back on again soon here, he said, that ruins your immersion, not the orc driving a vehicle and shooting a gun that shouldn't work just because he believes it should, or the countless guard vehicles with zero suspension, or the fact that all the aircraft are dogfighting instead of using beyond visual range tactics and weapons. And he goes on and on about this here. And for me, it's just like, he's like, yeah, this breaks my immersion. I'm like, there's literal monkeys in this game who make guns better. But it's the horse.
Well, they're not literal monkeys, John. They're aliens.
Yeah, that's fair. But then again, all apes are. But yeah, I love the horse. I think it's goofy as shit. I think it's going to fit in, like, just to look at the table across from your opponent, you're looking at, what, 10, 12, 15 Leman Russ battle tanks, and one dude on a horse. He's like, yeah, I'm here too. Respect me.
These tanks will respect me.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm okay. Like, I'm not so down on the horse. Like, I get that, but I don't understand why he had to be such a departure from the classic Lord Solar Macarius model, like, which is a great model, really. Like,
Sure.
and this guy's hat sucks. Like, definitely swap his head. I think we can all agree with that, right? Like, his head is not good.
Yeah. Maybe a Stormcast helmet will fit really well onto him.
Sure.
But I will say it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. We've seen a bunch of really cool models get updates, and people are like, you didn't change it enough. It just looks the same but bigger. And here they've done something where they have completely changed over the model, going for like a different vibe and aesthetic, and just nothing. No.
I guess.
Fine. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be 1 second here.
I would paint his head all gold.
You think? Oh, like a death mask kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Can you zoom into his face?
No.
Oh, all right.
I don't have
All right,
that.
that's
I don't
okay,
have
cool,
that
dude.
capability.
Damn. Just
Sorry.
shut me down. You could see his little, like, puffy little baby cheeks.
Oh.
It almost worked.
Oh, I know.
But then it shrunk back to the same size as the screen.
I give up. I'm gonna break the
Yeah,
internet.
good call. All right, so yeah, so John having some technical difficulties tonight, folks.
Well, it's actually not technical. I think it's dog related.
Oh, let's say it's biological.
Biological related, yeah. Maybe I should go to the bathroom now.
Maybe that's true. You know, he's like, well, I've already disappeared once. Why don't
Let's
I just
do it
disappear
again and see this.
Yeah.
Let's.
Apparently, if you just
no.
yeah, I'm floating.
Why?
If you try and let your dog up, he'll just cry on the bed too. So it's okay. We're gonna get through. That's not all that's coming for guard. Let's move on. We've talked about this horse long enough. Andrew in chat is right. Canonical difficulties. I did not bless it with biscuits beforehand. You brought this to my attention here, Danny. The brand new guard tank is on its way. The Rogal Dorn class battle tank is ready to be baited into an unwinnable situation and then just get curb stomped by a bunch of Iron Warriors. But you said you had a lot of opinions on this guy.
A lot of opinion. What, on the tank or that statement? Because I have
the statement. Both. Well, what's the statement that you have issues with?
Well, the one that's highlighted, John. It says it can take out.
Well, maybe
Chaos
if you're
Knight.
just listening to this, not watching it.
Okay, so the statement is, that's a good point, John. Some people do listen to this.
No one.
I forget that quite often.
Are we doing a show
Not
right now?
Not a single person listens.
Are we doing a show? Is this happening, or are we just chatting?
Yeah,
we're just chatting.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
So the statement is it's capable of knocking out almost anything up to a Chaos Knight in a single salvo. So when they say a Chaos Knight, do they mean a War Dog? Do they mean a Big Knight? Like, and then if that's the case, 12 dudes with bolters can kill a War Dog.
Wow, I don't know.
Like at long range, technically. I mean, that's possible. So like the statement is just like, okay, cool. It's got a bunch of multi-meltas. Yeah, it can kill a knight. Cool. Yeah, I guess you can just roll a bunch of 6s on those and that'll be fine, right? Technically, it's just true of so many different things.
How everything is compared to it can kill a knight in a single round of shooting. And at this point, it's like, brother, what can't? I've lost knights to stalker pattern bolters. I've lost knights to chain swords.
Oh, yeah.
Chaos Knight is not the be all and end all. It will not be. But what are your thoughts on kind of the Dorn in general? The two full-size battle cannons when regular ones just get one. An enormous oppressor cannon, kind of things like this. Do you think this tank is going to be a pain on the battlefield?
I think it's going to be very good. It seems really well costed, based on the rumors that I've seen. So yeah, I think you're going to see it on the table quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Dickie, do you agree with our good friend Josh here in chat, who says the knights are now the avatar of Cain of modern 40k? People just destroy them to show how powerful they are.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely killed an avatar of Cain a couple times. I've killed a lot of knights as well. I would say that avatar is actually harder to kill nowadays than a knight. So,
yeah, that might be true right now. Actually,
that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That's fair. Well, the new guard range doesn't stop there, with a brand new guardsman on deck. And this person here shared this picture, taking an issue with the scale, showing that the new guardsman is far and away, heads above height-wise, the older guardsman, and saying, "This is trash. What's the point of having 8-foot tall super soldiers if basic bitch humans are 7 foot? Guardsmen should be smaller, if anything, not bigger." But I took an issue with this. So, Dickie, enhance. Which means go to the next slide.
Oh, enhance. Oh.
Enhance. Okay, cool. Almost there. Apparently, there might be something there. Let's go ahead. Enhance one more time. To the next slide. Oh, look at that. A little bit of photoshopping line.
Wow.
Got him.
Got him. Shenanigans, I call there. Luckily, there's pictures that are a little less enhanced, both in pixel quality and size. On the next picture here, showing an actual new guardsman beside the old guy, and he fits in pretty well.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
But I'm gonna ask you guys here, Danny and Dickie, why do people want to generate this controversy by just straight up lying about the size of something?
Easy. People hate fun, John. Notoriously, people just want to spoil fun for other people, and they want to make things look bad when they're not, and that's a good time for them. So to those sourpusses, I say, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of good 5'11" versus 6 foot jokes, which I really appreciate.
It's really, yeah, those are really solid. Yeah,
they're real good. Though, guys, are we destined for this kind of scale creep eventually? Like, are we going to see kind of the continual upsizing, or are we going to see kind of a consistency of this heroic scale?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're going to see Primaris everything at some point, right? It's going to happen. Like, everyone pour one out for the old Marine, the vanilla Marine. I think he's going away, but we're going to have some cool stuff, I'm sure. Yeah.
Time to go back to heresy. That's what I have to say to that.
Said no one ever.
Yeah,
people who love fun do not go to play the heresy.
No. I'm talking about the first one.
Oh, fair. Oh yeah. I thought you meant the players.
No,
that would be very wrong.
No, that's really mean. Like, that's like go to hell in that kind of context.
Yeah,
that's true.
Nobody wants that.
Hey, talking of scale, though, someone out there is asking the important questions. There's next slide here, saying, since League of Votann are half the size of Space Marines, should we be paying full equal price for them?
Oh,
we should be paying half the value since we're getting half the plastic. Come on, GW, 50% off our squats. Now, I'm a little sad Val isn't here to explain the economics of this, why this happens. But guys, should price be decided by the size of the finished product?
Absolutely, John. That's how economics works. And so, since I've been paying for these models based purely on the weight of the plastic in the kits instead of the detail or perceived value of the models, it's clear all models should be sold purely based on their weight, with the weight of a sprue being, since they're so incredibly light and those kits cost good money, probably worth pretty close to the price of gold, John.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Dickie, in Canada, do they have to advertise the dollar per ounce on the box packaging to ensure that it's a fair market rate?
Yeah, in French though. It can't be in English. It has to be in French. Yeah.
It's the written number for 5. 5.
Yeah, 5.
Good.
Yeah.
Danny, you have assembled both the Votannian and the Space Marine. Do you feel like there's an equal value between those two kinds of models? Like, I haven't assembled any of the Votann. How are those kits?
They're really nice kits. Every part about them is slathered in detail. They have lots of bags and pockets, and most surprisingly, these guys are really ready for a sleepover. Like, almost every other model has a sleeping bag that you can glue onto them.
Aww.
So they're ready to party. These dwarves. There must be a lot of Votann named Sleepy, because they're ready for a slumber party.
A lot of sleeping bags. Apparently, the price of miniatures nowadays decided by how many pockets and satchels that each miniature has.
I just keep thinking about having to paint those goddamn things. Is like the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm like, oh, another bag.
Oh, it's easy.
Do whatever
Just use
sensible person
contrast.
does. Just cut it off.
Yeah.
Scale it, file it down.
Perfect.
Hey guys, more shock from Games Workshop as no more October. This reputable news site shares the news that Games Workshop will never say October again. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
This is Spiky Bits literally going, say the thing, and then don't release anything. And then the Games Workshop is like, we don't have any orcs to release this year, so we're not going to talk about October. Like, what do they even want with this?
Oh, drama! I love you so much.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dickie, is October an overrated thing that was maybe a fun thing an intern did once 6 years ago?
Do that
and
like 6 years ago, and it was like, oh, it's a thing, and now it's not a thing. I don't know. They did release one orc, though, right? In
oh, they are releasing an orc this month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Oh no, they won't.
No.
I think maybe next month.
Oh.
We'll see.
Okay. Well,
who knows? Not us. That's absolutely for sure. But does the October expectation highlight how truly awful orc players are in general?
Just the worst kind of people.
I don't know.
They're yelling, public intoxication.
I haven't heard them yell in a while. Usually when they're on stream, they're actually really nice and polite about it. They're like, sir, I will wah now. And then they go ahead and do their
That's
turn.
somewhat worse that they talk
I've never
like
even heard that once in my life. It's always these yahoos in there yelling their asses off. But to be fair, Dickie, you've seen a lot more recently streamed games and been hosting those. So you know what? I'll take your word for it. I'm just gonna shut up.
As long as the janitor remembers to plug it all back in, that is. What other theme months could there be? If there's Orktober, there's September for Tau. What other kind of theme months could there be?
That's actually really good. I don't know. Votann Ember? Is that one? Votann.
Votamber.
No Votember. Like, so, like, I don't know. That's terrible. Can we? And September.
Yeah,
that's so good.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for your one to be better or worse, or just exist in general.
No, because why? Can't we just have one?
One
is plenty.
Squat Timber.
Chat coming in. Fantastic. Well, we're going to add it to the list of these banned terms. That's an official GW document of list of banned words and terms for Warhammer. Danny, Dickie, thoughts on the list of these banned words and terms?
Makes me so sad. There's Falcon in there. Why is he banned? I like Falcon.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I like Falcon.
Vallejo.
They're not allowed to say no?
No. Yeah. They are not. Like I said, hey, could we maybe like tone down the power? Maybe just make this codex pretty powerful. And they're like, yes. They're like, hey, maybe is this too powerful? They're like, yes. And it's like, you want to release it? Yes. It's like that Rick and Morty. Where
what about this?
Oh yeah, sure.
Power.
Okay, that makes sense.
This one will probably get me banned from the whole. What about adding player mics? GW. Could we do that? No? Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, best I can do is Nick Nanavati in a pirate costume. Guys, what's the biggest thing you've left in an event?
Can you repeat that question?
The biggest
thing?
Like
what is it? What's something you've left in an event and you're like, oh damn it, I left that. Oh, that's really pain. And something you're super sad about leaving behind that you're definitely going to miss.
Headphones. I left a pair of headphones.
Ooh, that sucks.
Ooh,
yeah.
My miniature cart.
No, what?
Oh, yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Wasn't it technically very broken when you left it, though?
Definitely was super broken, but I'm really going to miss it.
That's fair.
Oh, man.
That's fair. Was it an entire army, though? Is this person here, someone left their entire army behind at a store recently. They're looking for the owner of said army. If you can send a Facebook message to the store with a brief description, we will work on returning the army to you. Guys, when do you think this person noticed that they forgot to take their entire army home with them?
Wow, that sounds like a really awesome party store.
Wait, have you guys not done that before? Because I've definitely forgot my army at the shop before.
You've forgotten your entire army?
Yeah, I've had after a tournament, I've definitely had the owner of the store call me and say, "Hey, you left your army here," and then I've had to turn around and come back.
Wow.
Did you do? Was that a 2-1 day?
No, it was 3-0. I think I won the event. I was just so glutted in victory.
Oh, jeez.
That I don't know.
Like, this army is dead to me now.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash.
Dickie, do you think, was this just an army that no longer works in the Brave New meta and the guy was just done with it?
I feel like he went like 0-3 and he just like said, F this. I don't need this in my life anymore. Take the goddamn thing is probably what he said.
Man, 0-3. That's a hard town to live in for sure.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, what are some legitimate reasons to abandon an army?
To abandon an army?
Yeah.
Oh. I can think of a couple actually. Let's see. So something mysterious gets spilled on your models, and they smell really bad.
Like how bad?
Define mysterious.
Define how bad. Like how bad of a smell would it have to be for you to just say no?
Like a strong smell of urea, maybe sticky.
Oh,
slightly sticky.
Okay.
Would you keep those models or would you abandon them?
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's a good point. Cap and Andrew in chat letting us know we had an army and the best painted winning display board left at Nova Open this year. Careful, guys.
Oh my God.
Goonhammer will use it for photos or for judging.
Yeah, it's like the loner display board, right?
Every good event has a loner display board.
Any board is a loner display board if you try hard enough.
Dickie, what's a legitimate reason for abandoning your army?
Wow, Danny did such a good job. Stinky and smelly would be one. Gunpoint would be another one. I guess that would be another one.
Well, if the store was being robbed, and
and
you just like, I just need to clean up my army real quick, and they're like, "Good out!" I'm like, "Yeah, but this is just new, and I'm like excited with how it's working together."
Oh, if I played Votann, I'd probably leave it there too.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have to be a real dick to play that army.
A real piece of crap to play that army. Yep.
Yeah, real assholes play Votann.
Yep.
You and Seth, bosom buddies in dwarfness. As stressful as that situation sounds, you can wash away that stress with Wave 2 of the Warhammer 40,000 scented candles available for this holiday season. Available in Tzeentch, Slaanesh, Nurgle, and Khorne.
Why do they have to... Man, I don't want to buy this.
What are the scents of these candles?
Well, Khorne is definitely coagulated blood.
It's got to be blood, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say copper.
Okay.
Oh, sure. It could be coppery.
Yeah. What's Tzeentch? Tzeentch?
Tzeentch is nothing. It's odorless.
Change. It's just
a trickster.
What about, okay, so Nurgle?
Or it starts off.
Yeah, Nurgle.
I was thinking maybe it smells like the subway. That's what I was thinking Tzeentch smells like. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with
that.
It's a place in constant change.
We're going to save the best for last. So what's Nurgle?
Wait, I thought you said we're saving the best for last.
No, we're going to save
Ironically,
the best for last.
also the subway. Just a different part of it.
The dirtier part of the subway.
Oh, man. Yeah, porta potty.
Yeah. Okay, so what does Slaanesh smell like?
Votann weapons.
Oh.
Damn. Okay.
Because of the cum weapons.
I got it now.
I guess. Yeah, that's probably it. Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Solved. Yep.
What in-game benefits should you get from a Warhammer scented candle?
Oh, lots. It should just give you for each god you have lit, you should get an extra point success on the Warp Storm table.
So that means you could get at least one a turn.
Yeah.
Because I have yet to see someone roll well in Warp Storm points. What do you guys want to see in Wave 3? This is Wave 2 of the candles, which implies the existence of more. Are we going to get like military and barracks?
I want Kroot.
Kroot.
I say we go to old world colors or
oh, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
I want the Skaven
that's in line,
candle.
right? Skaven
smells
ogres.
real ratty.
Yeah, the giant smell, whatever that would be.
Oh yeah. That smells like that one could be like athlete's foot. That's what it smells like.
Athlete's foot, yeah.
Tim Penny jumping in chat saying, "Show me on the doll where the flamers overwatched you." I can't because the doll no longer exists because of all of the flamers.
So much flamers.
Content creators have provided you review videos for a long time. Danny, I know we've done the classic top down on the book, letting you see every page, a sheen-free finish, just kind of really blissfully reading the thing. But Tyler Russo on Twitter has this amazing video he put up reviewing the Duncan Rhodes Toothing Coats paint line by asking the important question of what do they taste like, as he ate every single paint in the Duncan Rhodes Toothing Coats signature paint line.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Danny, when can we expect your dice reviews?
I can do a Chessex dice taste test. If you want to get some different colors, and then I can get how far you can loft them with your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's fair. Dickie, is there anything you would review wargaming related by sticking it in your mouth?
World Eaters. I'd take that new World Eater book and
how do you think he got this job?
Yeah,
this
is a joke. Wait, we get paid? You sons of bitches. Oh, I've been doing this for free for way too long.
Almost 2 years. What are other ways we can review wargaming product? Danny, the top down, that's yesterday's news. Anyone with a phone and a book can just point at pages. It takes a real master to decide to eat things. But Danny, what else can we do to make reviews better for the viewing audience?
John, I've got so many ideas. John, are you familiar with the Oculus Rift?
Oh, buddy. Ooh. Sure am.
We should do a 3D Codex review.
You know, what would be really cool is if we were to film a 3D Codex review.
Yeah.
That was just, I almost picked up the wrong book. But it's just us sitting, and it's just, you can see us reading the book. But you can't approach us or look in the book.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's just the front of it. The back is
you just
blank.
see us reading the thing the whole time.
And you guys giggling the whole time? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh man, that's pretty good. Yeah, I should pre-order that. And then you pull out the phone and you start pre-ordering things, but then you put it down. And just as the person gets near it with their Oculus headset, the phone screen shuts off.
There you go.
Yeah. Quality. I like that. Dickie, you create some amazing content here for Frontline Gaming Network.
Yeah.
What's some ways we can add review content? What would you like to see?
Well, as you guys know, my goal here is just to not be as annoying as Val. So if I could just get just above that, I'm winning in all levels of this.
You have goals?
Yeah. My whole life is a goal, and this is my goal. Just be less annoying than Val. I think I'm doing it. Please,
you're doing a good job.
For the love of everyone.
You are. Far.
Yeah.
No YouTube comments so far.
No, nothing yet. Low bar.
I haven't seen one about you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good or bad, though?
Apathy is its own reward. Yeah, but Nicholas Dorn's coming in and asking, what about taste testing the different FLG terrain sets? We can't do it, Nick. The quality's too good. What a phenomenal product available at a great price.
It's true.
Frontlinegaming.org.
I'd like to do maybe a smell test, like describing how they smell when you open the bag up for the first time.
They are so stinky. They're the stinkiest thing ever. Yeah.
How
it smells like
cancer.
That cancer. That's a bad smell. Yeah.
That is. Hey, let's move on to our main topic.
Let's just we'll step
let's
right
get from the less serious cancer to the more serious Games Workshop Open. As Nick Nanavati encroaches on our turf, let's pull up this picture here to cough horribly, wearing a puffy shirt in an obvious Seinfeld reference that has nothing to do with Halloween or a pirate costume. But the real controversy came in the top bracket as Sean Naden and Manny Chima failed to finish their stream game and talk through a large portion of the game after the clock ended. Guys, clock issues strike again. But this time at an event with a clear no clock policy. So, is this still a controversial ending to the round when this is essentially what the rule set described?
I'll say it. I think it's garbage.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, this is the top level of play for the game. Like, I expect more. Out of these two gentlemen who have both been on their respective WTC teams. And there gets to be enough times where you hear about clock issues from one particular player, and it becomes a little suspicious that we keep having the same conversation with one person in particular. So I don't know.
Well, moving on, Manning did mention here on a reply to someone here saying, unfortunately, Sean's WA turn was 1 hour long. We could only do turn 4. We weren't allowed to play turn 5. Had a fun game anyway. We both had a laugh. Was kind of his description of events here. So I'm going to kind of reiterate here, like if both players are happy with the outcome and come out in support of the decision and it falls in line with the GW's rule of having fun with the game and falls in line with their event packet, why are people, do you think, upset about it? Dickie, you go. Go. Yeah.
There's no reason why this should happen. And like, come on, like Tim's in here, saying Sean is retired or whatever. Okay, yeah, sure. Like, you shouldn't be bringing an army that you can't finish a 5-round, like a 5-game or a 5-turn game in. It's ridiculous that can't happen in 3 hours. It's if what Manny said is true and Sean's turn took an hour, like that's ridiculous in itself. So it just it's not good. It's not good reasoning. I don't like the idea that the game didn't come to a natural conclusion because dice are dice. Things happen. I mean, I know we have all talked out games and things like that, but at the end of the day, there's no reason why they shouldn't have been able to finish this game in the first place. It's one thing to say this and this and this happened with like time left on the clock where you could roll it out. If one player disagreed, now there's no option. So you have to go with whatever this kind of arbitrary decision is. I don't know. I think it's bad.
Isn't clock play pretty like normalized now? I remember 3-4 years ago when it was like, ooh, to use the clock or not to use the clock, and now it's pretty common, right? It's very common, in fact.
It's really common for players who are undefeated to be required to play on a clock for the rest, like second day of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then if your opponent requests one, is the way that the ITC code of conduct for like the time clocks is generally ruled. GW has one where both players have to agree to be on a clock. Otherwise, you don't get to get one. So I'm disappointed with this. Yeah, and do clocks suck? Yeah, clocks suck. Like, they're annoying. Like, it's annoying to flip time back and forth. Like, it's not fun.
But it really is the most fair way to play. Like, really, at the end of the day.
It is.
Okay.
So, like, I just it's disappointing. Again, like, I expect better.
So, Dickie, how difficult is it to produce a stream, produce this kind of compelling entertainment? Because kind of that's the goal, even with the GW streams, with FLG streams. We want to create these sort of compelling games that people want to watch. When you can see pretty early on that the game's not going to come to a natural conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, having like the dramatic clock, the clock camera, so you can get one of the tilt the zoom cameras.
I want to be really clear. You didn't say cock camera.
Yeah, thanks.
It was close. Entirely different.
It was close.
That's for the bottom tables of LVO.
Yeah, actually, some of the most dramatic moments in a game are on those last final minutes, right? When people are playing. So it is super dramatic when X player has 4 minutes left or whatever in the turn, and they're trying to get it through. It's really dramatic, and it's a lot of fun. So I like it as a dramatic tool, but as a fair play tool. If no players on the clock, like the guy's taking hours on his turn, like, and you're sitting there going, buddy, like we're not going to get through turn 2 here. It's so frustrating. I can only imagine the frustration of being in that situation. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Is this a sign? And I know we're kind of, we've talked about it the past few weeks. We're coming to the end of the edition. We're kind of seeing that usual end of edition rules bloat happening with different things being added on. We now have to play this army, the codex, the FAQ, the data slate, the mission pack, the balance update. All of these things. Is this a sign of kind of an overly complicated rules interaction? While chat did kind of correctly point out, Sean Naden's pretty much retired at this point. He's still a really good player, super good brain of this. But when two top players are taking an insanely long time to complete basic army movement and basic army bonuses, is this pointing to a problem of the rules rather than the players?
And I will say both players are double WTC players as well. So the clocks are not a new process for them in any stretch of the imagination, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and sure, do people spend some time over socializing? And this kind of stuff happens, but like it shouldn't probably. And like there's a time and a place for that. And like I get it, like if you're friends, you want to talk to your friend or whatever while you're playing, and then that can kind of distract from the game. Okay. But maybe like if you're considering like trying to win for real, like, maybe just finishing your game instead of talking afterwards.
So Danny, this is a question here from chat I want to put to you. Do you prefer like a soft clock policy, or are you in for a really like a rigid hard clock policy? Do you prefer like soft clock, hard clock?
Yeah. I'm usually kind of a hard clock guy. I need that because otherwise I feel like there's too much flex, and I need that rigidity to really get me to the end of the game.
Dickie, do you suffer from sort of like a soft clock preference, or are you more of a person who's like really needs a good hard clock to finish their game on time?
I'm a bit of a soft clock kind of guy. Just make sure that the turns are relatively even throughout the game, and you're good to go. No, I don't need to be hard on people. It's all good, baby.
No, that's fair.
Right. Doesn't matter if you finish. It's just kind of more about the journey.
Yeah, it's just making sure the other player's having a good time. It's not,
yeah. I think the important thing to take away, and here's sort of like the crux of it here, is both players said they had a great time. Both players enjoyed the experience.
Okay.
It just didn't naturally finish.
Yeah, and that counts for something too, right? Like it does. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't. So.
Yeah. Is it time to move to a lower points value? I know chat's coming in and saying that the time doesn't matter and players will generally fill the time they're given. Tim is letting us know. But we'd say like a 1,500 point, or like back to the good old 1850 or 1750 of days of yore. Would that help with a lot of these issues, or would that make the game less satisfying from an army construction standpoint?
And I agree with that statement. Kind of like players will, fill the void, and a clock is maybe not enough to fill that void. Like there may need to be some kind of other metering device to make sure that like the game, the game.
So you're
finishes,
probably stimulated.
Right?
Some
like
people need more than just a
exactly
clock.
To create those exciting moments, right? Like especially towards the end of the game where things are electric. Things are shooting all over the place, and there's some finality to the game.
Jeez.
Do you feel like a hard clock and a smaller points value is just going to lead to like an earlier excitement and just an earlier finish?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe that'll make the game over faster, and they'll be able to finish on one person will get wiped up on turn 3.
Anybody else getting hot? Like I'm so hot right now.
It's a good thing you're animated.
I'm sweating. Yeah.
We're going to talk about talking. How do you feel about talking out the game? Are you a dice down, everything's done as of this moment?
God.
Or let's talk what's going to happen?
I'm such a hypocrite.
So
I'm definitely talking out kind of a guy like all the time. So
but are you like a talk it out when you like you don't know if you're gonna win, or are you gonna like talk it out because I'm crushing you kind of guy?
Well, I mean, I'm not that good, so usually it's kind of a talk it out if like just to finish up the game or whatever.
Because I'm tired and I want to go eat something or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you think it's unfair that you have professional training in law school on how to argue your point? on others
John,
who might not be quite so skilled.
He's not good.
Yeah, no, I'm terrible at argumentation. So it actually works to my detriment quite often. No, man,
Danny,
go. It's a skill you have to hone just like any other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tim Finney, me talking out when I can't finish. This normally never happens, which I think everyone watching this show, listening to this show, whenever you clock out of a game, please use the phrase, this normally never happens. You normally finish in time. Danny, also Seth's in chat. Check out Signals on the Front Line for Kicker every Wednesday. He is very brutally hinting at a game you two had on stream where you both clocked out on turn 2. Tell us about that.
Well, in this charity event for charity, this one time, and Seth and
Please
I
don't pre-frame it too hard to one side or the other. Just honest opinions.
Was it
literally
was it a hard clock or soft clock?
Look, he was on top, then I was on top, and then he was on top, and then at the end I was on top. So but really, in this game, we gave each other shit for at least like 30 to 45 minutes before the game started as we were deploying. So it took us a really long time to get the game started. So that's why we didn't actually end up finishing the game. There wasn't that much left. Seth was basically totally tabled, and it would have been my victory ultimately anyway.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, beautiful. Because the clock didn't run out. Seth just ran out of models, I think is what Dan is saying at this point here.
He just couldn't get to where he needed to go.
That's fair. What are some non-clock solutions to this issue? Because this isn't the first time we've seen time running out being an issue. This isn't the second, like the last time we're going to see it either. There's a lot of rabid people who aren't actually involved in any of the games, very annoyed about it. So what are some things we can put forward to make sure that non-clock or these timing issues don't happen?
I ultimately have no good ideas here, honestly. Like, I don't like clocks, but I don't have a better option. That's why I think they're kind of a necessary evil.
Yeah, like what else can you use? Like,
I don't know.
Like
an hourglass,
like a sundial. Like, what do you
like an hourglass? But that's essentially a clock. So
use a clock. Can we not just use clocks? Please?
Yeah, can we just use clocks? Is that okay? Can we just do that? Like, it sucks. I get it, but like, there needs to be enforcement to make sure that games get finished.
Mm-hmm. Would you be in favor of just a strict dice down policy? Like if you didn't, you just it stops immediately at time. You don't talk it out. You don't do any more.
Those are technically the rules as they are right now. Not in GW events, but in ITC events.
Yeah, there is.
Which is what I'd focus on, considering it's probably one of the best tournament formats ever invented. You can find those rules on Frontline Gaming's website under the ITC section.
Yeah, and if you use the link below, buy something while you're there. It probably helps us out. Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Well, let's move on a little bit. We have a little bit more here. I wanted to go back to some hard-hitting journalism that I've been sitting on for the past couple of weeks.
Oh, God.
Here's how much a Warhammer army costs now.
Probably. They're not even sure.
Yeah, they just don't know.
No, I heard it's a variable amount.
Yeah, it's potential. So maybe it's cheaper, maybe it's not. Is that kind of the thing you take away from this?
It's going to be real. I just see the thumbnail laugh and screenshot. But for Warhammer and competitive Warhammer in particular, which we're a shit talking show, but our bread and butter is the wargaming competitive wargaming community. Is the cost of entry too high in the modern game?
Will the market bear it? I don't know. If it is, then no.
Yeah, I know I'm going to be buying a lot of World Eaters when they come out, whether they're expensive or not. So, yeah.
I pre-ordered a bunch of Votann today. So,
yeah. I will say, Dickie and I were going to be changing the show into World After Eater come December time as we both dive headlong into that abyss.
Blood for the blood god, baby.
You know, Unga Bunga. That's a great ideal.
It's a
I'm excited
penny
to
original.
see that. Yeah.
Does the sole focus on the 2,000 point competitive scene for the most part, is that detrimental to the overall game? Just kind of focusing on that one match play type, that 1 points level.
No.
If GW tomorrow says our new points
Thanks, Danny.
are yeah, thanks, Danny. If
You're
GW
welcome.
tomorrow says the new competitive Strike Force points are 2,500, everyone will move to 2,500 points without batting an eyelash.
Mhm.
So GW really dictates where that competitive points limits are going to be. So no, I don't think it matters. I think yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give her hell.
No, you're good here. Like just chestlining. So capitalism has ruined the hobby by making everything so expensive. We should all have an equal number of 1995 Space Marines allocated across the fan base equally.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody said it.
Thanks God. Yeah. And then Tim Penny letting us know his opinion here. It's $800 dish for a medalist. 1,000 to 1,200 if you want options. He's also advertising his 3D printing business. 2,500 points is literally a pain unless you're playing a gun line. Because I can't imagine moving that many close combat models.
I was just making a point that like the points doesn't like GW will dictate what points we play. I don't think it like ITC won't or Frontline Game we won't do that, right? So I don't think they will, but whatever.
Yeah.
And this is kind of my last big serious question here, will the economic situation in the UK make GW look for product with a smaller buy-in, being that people don't have the disposable income that there once was?
Go Danny, go ahead.
It's possible. I think those games are all seeing some resurgence in popularity. I think right now, like this is so bizarre for me to even think about saying, right? The 40k meta is like really good.
Yeah.
But I've never been more bored with the game. Like, so like, which is such a bizarre thing to say. Like, I still want to build an army and play it because like I love miniature gaming and I like the scale that 40k is at.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally get why people are excited about other games or smaller games and just trying to like play something fun and maybe not super competitive right now.
Yeah, my dog also agrees.
Yeah.
Why do you
Thanks,
think?
Lando.
Why do you think it's boring? Is it just
no,
it's
and
so
like
long in the tooth though? That like we've been playing this edition for quite a while now.
Again, I've like banged out a lot of games of this edition, and I just think
wow.
just Thanos snapped himself out of existence.
That's amazing.
Harsh. I just I don't know why it is. Like, it's not that I want the game to be unbalanced. That's not where I want it. I just need a good shakeup because like 8th and 9th edition were very similar.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And I just like to kind of maybe get a total like kind of redo. I'm kind of sick of using the same books and that kind of stuff. Just like something to really shake it up, I think would be really, really powerful.
Yeah. I'm not bored of it, but it feels very long in the tooth. Like the game feels very similar. I mean, and I know 9th edition was a COVID edition, right? Because we got it literally in COVID. But everyone's been like, I'm sure people have been playing TTS. That's a thing now that we do, right? So, I've banged out a lot of games here, and it is getting a bit samesies. So yeah. Why I'm still not good at this game, I have no idea. I feel like I've been playing enough of it.
Is it the balance? I Thanos myself back in, by the way.
You did a good job, yeah.
I am Iron Man. But is it the imbalance that creates the fun of the game? We're at this point where everyone is pretty balanced as it goes, apart from Space Marines, where, you guys just suck as players. So the official company line. But was it part of the fun, like taking an underpowered army and kind of really countering a lot of the overpowered stuff, or kind of being overpowered and having that part of fun, just kind of wailing on Space Marine players? Now that everyone is sort of similar, does that take some of the joy away?
I don't know. I think it's not the power level of the game that dictates whether it's popular. I think it's the game that dictates if it's popular and if it's fun to play. And I think Danny's right. I think we've been playing this edition for quite a while, so maybe it's time for a change. I expect a larger change. I don't expect 9th edition 2.0 in this next edition,
Right.
whenever the heck that's going to be. I'm hoping it's not anyway. I want to learn a new game. I'm ready to learn a new game. So, yeah.
What changes do you guys want to see? Just to round this out.
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many things I'd be interested to see some changes. I want things to be less. I just want there to be. I want there to be more. This is going to sound super weird. I want there to be more randomness. I want them to take out the command point reroll.
Oh,
I want that to be gone. I've decided, like, it's been 2 editions now. We've had it. And I think it just kind of, it makes for the dice being a lot less fateful, especially on like specific dice rolls. I'd like to see kind of maybe that balanced out in a way where you don't get to reroll quite so many dice all the time. In addition, like less rerolls throughout the game as well.
I'm really concerned about. I'm really concerned about if I'm annoying after this answer. The morale phase, like making the morale phase more.
I was going to say morale. So I'm just going to jump in there, Dickie.
Yeah.
Like the sort of 8th edition simplified all the rules down, kept it nice and simple. Like, this is our game now. It's like simple, but there's a complexity to it. And we've kind of ramped up the complexity in all areas, from the stratagems to the data sheets to the interactions. Everything has got more complex as time has gone on, apart from morale, which still feels really underwhelming. And doesn't really matter or affect the game at all. So yeah, please continue what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I think the morale phase is just not impactful. If you lose a guy, and then you probably lose another guy by rolling a 1, and okay, it's done. I want it to be like you lost morale. Like, there's a big issue here in this unit, whether it's not being able to shoot, not being able to move, something like that, or you're pinned down or something, right? I think that would be more impactful. I think it would be better for the game. So
yeah, absolutely. Make morale matter. Make them as effective as
make morale matter again.
Make morale matter.
Yeah. We're going to make hats. They're going to be beautiful. Andrew DeSalle saying, John wants more fear. I want to avoid the world of fear and terror and all of the different morale tests I would have to take and look up big books to do. Guys, we've gone really far without any Warhammer Fantasy Battle references today. I don't want to pull it down
you
at
just
the
did
end.
it.
Damn it.
Man, yeah, let's make it more like that. Can we break people and run them down? Like, can we get sweeping?
Oh, that would be really good. Ooh.
What I need, internet, from you guys, viewers and listeners, is I need you to Photoshop the back of a box of movement trays with circle bases in them, and just have a new the Warhammer 40k logo on a box of movement bases. Because we could have movement trays in 40k to simplify the way of moving 3 models. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Even better, a Lehman Russ movement tray.
Love it.
New guard.
So, of course.
Perfect.
Makes sense.
Guys, what else you want to throw in here before we wrap it up for the day? I just have my usual 3 that I never get to.
I know.
It's my own personal joke.
Oh, all right.
I got nothing. I'm excited for what the future has to hold. I've been working on some Votann stuff. I'm pretty excited to get some more games in with them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still playing. I'm still having a good time, but I'm focusing on having a good time and not really like trying to be my most competitive ever.
Yeah. Soft comp, not a hard comp. Diggy, what else you want to throw in here before we wrap it up?
Well, thanks for having me, and yeah.
Oh, we love having you, man.
I think it was a great show.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
It was.
Yeah.
As well, just on this network.
Yeah.
Love you, Seth.
Dude, you're one of my 2 favorite producers.
Well, okay, thanks.
That is a factual statement. Guys, what an amazing show. We're going to be back next Monday. We're going to go over something or other. Maybe we'll have Evan on. Maybe we won't. Like, we'll be here.
Who knows?
Danny and I will. I will be stressed. Frankenstein is a terrible book that should never be studied. But thank you, everyone, for watching. And as always, it's pretty grim after dark.